goodness, it's all moldy. And my seeds are growing? Well, you know what? This is a life lesson. Stay tuned. I think you may learn something like I did too.
Hi, it's Robbie from Southern California, and yes, it's the Midnight Gardener right now. I wanted to share with you some life-altering or maybe an eye-opening event that's going on here, something that you can maybe take something away from. Do you see this? Well, do you remember, let's move this for a minute, the lettuce that I planted about a week or so ago, actually more than a week. Remember that red lettuce? I told you I've had the seeds forever. Well, I remember where I stored the seeds. They were stored in the laundry room above the washing machine, well, way up on a shelf. That is the wrong place to ever store seeds. You never put seeds in an area where it's damp, like a bathroom or a laundry room or anywhere that has dampness. So those seeds did have an expiration date due to that, and then none of them grew. Not one grew. You want to put all your seeds in a very cool, dark place. Now, I will tell you one thing. Seeds, many varieties have an expiration date. They don't grow after a certain amount of time. So no matter what you do, some will grow and some will not. So it was still worth trying, but the lettuce completely molded. Do you see all that? This is mold growing. It's the microbes. It's nature taking all the lettuce seeds back. As I dug through and looked, I found them all rotting away. Well, you're saying, but wait a minute, something's growing. I wanted to try something because I believe that nature knows what's good and what's not. So what I did just a few days ago, I planted a few Canary Yellow Zinnias in the container that I had the lettuce that is now molding. I didn't take the mold off. I didn't do anything because what it's doing is decaying like it's composting, like we compost in place or compost in totes or buckets or whatever way we do it. Nature, I can prove it here on some seeds, knows what's good and what's bad. When it came to the lettuce seeds, none of them were any good, so nature took it back. It's going to decompose it just like it does all our kitchen scraps and leaves and everything else. But when it came to pushing in some zinnia seeds the other day, it knew those were alive. Those were good. And I have seen this in my compost. Seeds that end up from tomatoes or peppers or who knows what else in there, even weeds blow in there if the top is open, they grow because the seed is alive. The microbes don't tend to eat living, or I should say seed that is still viable, ready to grow. And that's a good lesson to learn here because I looked at this and I thought, this may be silly. I do believe, though, it's going to grow because I see zucchini come up in compost and everything, and it did. Look how beautiful they look. And I'm just going to leave them until I'm ready to transplant them into the garden, probably the bird garden, because these are giant zinnias. They get really big. But I wanted you to see, and I'm hoping you can see how moldy it is through and through because it's decomposing. And that's the only thing that can decompose in there because I baked the soil. So there was nothing in there, but now that the seeds were all over, and you saw I took 2 packages of lettuce seeds, not 1, but 2, dumped everything in there, and all those seeds just started to break down. And when they started to break down, they created mold in there, and now the microbes, which are in the air, got into the soil, and they're decomposing it. Are they making fertilizer for my zinnias? Well, maybe a little, but that is really something to look at and something to analyze. And that's why when you have a compost system that's cold, not hot, because hot gets too, it kills everything. But a regular cold compost system, very much like nature does, that's why things grow that way. So keep that in mind. Seeds that I pushed in after my lettuce molded away, now I'm going to have zinnias. So I didn't even have to do anything and change the soil up or anything. What I'm doing in here is this is a pencil box, and I do have videos on that. And I've got soil in there, very damp soil. And Gary asked me, let's move this a little bit over, to get some of his seeds he wants growing that he collected. So I'm going to put them in here, and I've got a label up here so I can date it, and then I can even write down how many seeds I'm going to plant in here. There's no holes in this. This is strictly a pencil box. And I was supposed to do this days ago, and he asked me. I don't know if he wants me to do them all. He's sleeping. I'll put some in and see. This is from a yellow dragon fruit from the grocery store. He labeled it because what was very interesting is the skin on this dragon fruit was so thin that when you spooned it out to eat it, usually there's a really thick, like a rind, but it's a real thick skin that looks good, but it doesn't have any taste, or it could be really hard. This one didn't have that. There was no skin. It literally was just the outside shell, and you could eat it all the way down, and it was sweet and wonderful. And that's what he's hoping to get. He doesn't know what type it is. When you go to a grocery store, it's whatever the farmers have. So I'm going to put in, let's see if we can count them together, and then I'll just push them in and forget them. I did make a little like greenhouse for inside the house, and I am going to put it in there because they do like warmth. So let's count these. Let's put one there. I should push them in. It's hard to see. Soil's dark, seed is dark. Another seed here. That's 2. And if I don't remember, I can always go back and look at my video. 3. And yeah, they're going to grow in here. It's just crazy, but it works. I started this and I haven't changed it, and it works so good. Even Gary took off and he's using this. It's a pencil box. You can get them anywhere. I've seen them at dollar stores, even though some of the I'm having trouble picking them up. Dollar stores carry them, but a lot of times they sell them for more than $1. I bought like 15 of them or 20 of them from Walmart for 97 cents. When the kids go back to school, or I should say kids, when anybody's going back to school, they really reduce them. They put them on sale. I'm not going to count them. I'm just going to put them in. Whatever there is, there's a seed. And when they come up, the way you take them out of a pencil box is you just pick them up. You just with a spoon or something, and it works really good. This is stupid, but I have a tray sitting in the window of peppers, my own peppers that I like, and I threw in there. And they've been sitting in there for over 6 months now because I never got to them. And what's really crazy is they're growing peppers, and they're about 6 inches tall. I am hoping to get them out into the garden soon. Our weather's starting to change. I'm noticing plants are doing different things. It just started 2 days ago. And as soon as I see that, I told Gary, it's time to think about planting in the garden. Because when the plants are doing certain things, suddenly, let's say extra leaves growing or a burst of life, that's a good sign that it is getting to the right time. Though we have more rain coming, rain is not the issue. It's the cold. Now, we do have a cold spell coming. I want to put one more in there so it's even. Are they all going to grow? I don't know, but it can always, as you know, no matter what happens, I can always go back and add more seeds, even if the soil doesn't look that good. I think I took out one too many. I don't know if he wants me to do. I think that's enough. What in the world is he going to do with 100 or 200 dragon fruit? I don't know. But now we've got them in here. And what I do with this is I put them in my tiny little greenhouse I built in the house. I don't have grow lights because I think I'll be putting stuff outside soon. I put them in the window. But this I cap, and I still have to watch it. Even though it's closed, it still will periodically need water, but it won't dry out as much. But it's really well protected, and even soil generates a little bit sometimes of its own heat, and it stays warmer. So I'm going to go put this in either the window or in an area that's warm, or my little greenhouse, and then I can come back later. I'll check these in about a week and see if they're growing. He did say that he had a couple of his starting to grow. So now we know the seeds are good. He's really excited on that. This is something he really wants due to the fruit being so good. So I hope I gave you some information tonight. And if you are really lazy and you don't want to change your soil out, and you were planting something, I wouldn't put the best seeds in the world in there. You know, if something is rare and you only have 5 seeds. But when it comes to just regular stuff like zinnias, just threw in 3 seeds, and look at that. And not only that, they came up so incredibly fast and they look so healthy. Maybe they are getting something out of the decomposing lettuce seeds that were in there. I don't know. What do you think? With that, have a wonderful evening. And don't forget to eat what you grow. Bye-bye. This is really cool. That's a good life lesson.